Shri Ganapati Sharada Gurubhyo Namaha Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Vedase Raghunathaya Nathaya Sitaya Pataye Namaha. Welcome to all for this session on Ramayana to chapter 18 of Uttara Kanda, in which we see the gods assume thousand forms in fear of Ravana. After Vedavati having entered the fire, Ravana remounted his chariot and began to range the earth once again. Having reached Ushirabija, he beheld the king Marutta performing a sacrifice in company with the gods. A Brahmarshi named Samvartha, brother of Brahaspati himself, conversant with a tradition, was assisting amid the celestial host. Perceiving the Rakshasa rendered invincible on account of the boons he had received, the gods, fearing an outrage on his part, assumed the shape of animals. Indra became a peacock, Dharmaraja a cow, Kubera a chameleon, and Varuna a swan, and the other deities having escaped in a like manner. O slayer of your enemies, Ravana penetrated into the place of sacrifice like an unclean dog. Approaching the king, Ravana, the lord of Rakshasas, said to him, "Fight or submit." Then the monarch replied, "Who are you?" To which Ravana, with sneering laugh, answered, "I am charmed with your simplicity. Seeing you do not flee before me, Ravana, the younger brother of Dhanada. In the three worlds, can there be any other who is ignorant of my strength? I who vanquished my brother and carried off his aerial car." Then the king Marutta answered Ravana, saying, "Forsooth, for you are highly fortunate that you have triumphed over your elder brother in combat. None in the three worlds can equal you in glory. Yet unrighteous deeds can never be commended. Having committed this foul act, you do plead yourself on having vanquished your brother. What course of asceticism did you follow formerly that has earned you this boon? I have never heard out equal to that which you have related to me. Halt where you stand. Never shall you approach me alive. This very hour, with my sharp arrows, I shall send you to the abode of death." Speaking thus, the king, armed with his bow and arrows, in the height of anger, rushed out, but Samvartha barred the way. Then the great Rishi said to Marutta, "Hear the words inspired by my attachment for you. You should not enter into combat. If this sacrifice in honor of Maheshwara remain uncompleted, your race will be destroyed. How can one who has undertaken a sacrifice, that means the one who has undertaken a yajna, get into the fight? How can he show anger? Further, it is doubtful that you will triumph. The Rakshasa is difficult to overcome." Hearing the words of his guru, Marutta, that lord of the earth, throwing away his bow and arrows, grew calm and gave himself wholly to the ceremony. Then Shukha, deeming he had accepted defeat, proclaimed with shouts of triumph, "Ravana is the victor." Having devoured the great rishis who were present at the sacrifice, Ravana, gorged with their blood, began to range the earth once more. When he had departed, the celestials with Indra at their head returned and spoke to those creatures whose forms they had borrowed. In his delight, Indra said to the peacock, whose tail was dark blue, I am pleased with you, O virtuous bird. You shall have nothing to fear from serpents. You shall bear 1,000 eyes on your tail, and shall manifest your joy when it rains, as a testimony of my satisfaction. Such was the boon conferred on the peacock by that great lord, O monarch. The tails of the peacock, which were dark blue formerly, have become brilliantly hued on account of this boon. O Rama, Dharmaraja then said to the crow who had perched on the sacrificial post, O bird, I am gratified with you. Listen to my auspicious words. You shall not be visited by the various diseases to which all beings are subject, for you have gratified me. Be assured thereof, though through the grace of the boon I shall confer on you, O bird, you shall have no need to fear death, and shall live long till you are slain by man. Those inhabiting those inhabiting my empire who are tormented by hunger shall be satisfied, as also their kinsfolk, when you have been fed. And that is the reason why people used to feed the crow. Varuna, in his turn, said to the swan, the king of the winged creatures, who was disporting itself in the waters of the Ganga, you shall appear in a ravishing and graceful form, radiant as the lunar orb, supremely beautiful, white as pure foam. In contact with my element, you will rejoice continually. You shall taste a happiness that is unparalleled, which will be the mark of my approval. O Rama, formerly swans were not wholly white, their wings were dark at the tips, and their breasts were the color of emerald. In his turn, Kubera addressed the chameleon who was resting on the rock and said, I confer on you a golden hue on account of the pleasure that you have given to me. Your head will be of an unalterable golden color as a mark of my favor. Such were the boons conferred on those creatures after the sacrifice of the gods, who, when the ceremony had been completed, returned to their king to their returned with their king to their abode. Thus come to the end chapter 18 of Uttara Kanda in Ramayana. Namaste Sharade Devi Kashmira Puravasini Twamaham Prarthaye Nityam Vidya Danancha Dehime. Goodbye.